All right, what's up, everyone? Hey, I'm super glad to be with you guys tonight. It's already been a great night, but here's a couple things. Some of you maybe were expecting like, all right, high school usually meets upstairs. This is the middle school room. What's going on? Tonight is just a little different. We're gonna have a moment where I'm just gonna invite you all collectively into a moment I want to talk about, and then we're just gonna kind of go more to how are you as an individual developing. All right. So if this is your first time here tonight. This is a little bit different. I'm going to be just kind of talking about some things that potentially have been happening on a Wednesday night. And if it's your first time here, I just want you to maybe discover that this could be a good spot for you. Okay, so if you have questions, come chat with me. But for this first part, it's going to be a little bit intense because there's a lot of things I want to say to you guys, and more of it will be said. But we're just going to turn all the lights on. Can you hit the lights for me? We're just going to turn this all on. So I want to see everyone in the corners. This is how it's going to go. Someone move over there. There we go. Here's what we want to do. I just want to be able to see everyone. We've never done this before, but this is one of those moments where we need to kind of reset and refresh a couple things that are happening on Wednesday nights. So here's why I'm here and why all of you guys, high school and middle school, are in this room. I got a call just 2 days ago that someone said, hey, we need to meet with some officers in the area, and we want to just talk about Rocky students. And so we met with them, and here's essentially what we found out. Things had been happening on a Wednesday night that are trickling over into a Thursday or a Friday in our community or our schools. And here's why I turned on all the lights so I could see you guys, is because there's a level where, what we do at Rocky Students and why we exist is not that. I wrote down here, I was like, here's actually why we exist at Rocky Students, because we want to walk with you, help you discover your influence, your impact, help you lean into your faith and walk with Jesus. That's why we're here. Sometimes it plays out like a lot of fun. A lot of awesome people are here, but it doesn't show up in the way that impacts our community negatively in the following days to come, okay? So that's why we're turning on all the lights, because I want to see everyone here, and there's other things I want to say that go with that, and it just makes me think of this. When I played college basketball, there was a couple teammates of mine who showed up to late practice. They didn't watch film. They didn't have good enough grades to play, which would have made us better. And there was a moment where they were bringing down our team and our community, and it was like, this isn't working. So what we did, we didn't kick them off. What we did was like, hey, join us in where we're trying to go, because we need you. We need you, and we need to go where we're going over here. Like, we're trying to win a championship, and how you're showing up is just not going to work out for us. And that's the conversation I want to have with you all tonight, and just kind of set clear boundaries. So if you want to be a good friend, help out your friends follow some of these things. If you want to be a leader sometimes going with like, I'm going to go first. I'm going to make the choice to not do potentially things that we've been doing. So here's where we go. I'm going to jump into just a couple deals here, because what we are about at Rocky Students is about impacting our community in a good way. So here's a couple things. I want to be really clear, okay? 3 things I'm going to list that are just zero tolerance things. All right, and this is no shots at anyone. This has been happening for a couple semesters, so if you were just here last week or whatever, this is not about you. Fighting, stealing, or vaping, any of those things are no tolerance here. So fighting, stealing, or vaping. If those things are happening and we have a conversation with you, we're going to just send you over to the police officer and you get to talk with them. There's no warning, there's nothing like that. That's where it's going. And I'm going to tell you why in a little bit, but I'll hold off for that. The other piece that we're going to have is outside right now is off limits. When you're here with us, you're here inside with program. If you're outside and we ask you to come in, whether you're in your car, whether you're on your scooter, whether you're just hanging out with friends, if we ask you to come in, we need you to come in. If you say no, then we're going to ask you to leave or talk with an officer, okay? Some of these things are just standard at your school, at the rec center, at the store, and so we're just going to ask you guys to also do that here. What I know is true is many of you guys like this place. Can I just ask, you don't have to raise your hand. If you have found value on a Wednesday night, can you raise your hand? Okay. There's half the room raising their hands, if not more. We want to keep that going on, and so these rules are in place not to babysit you, but to actually help you. And here's the reality of why these rules exist. There's a bunch of leaders here that I'm going to introduce you guys to in a second, but we don't want to be here babysitting. We don't got time to babysit anyone. There's enough conversations that we have with you all that people are like, do I want to live tomorrow? That's the conversation we want to have. I don't want to be standing up in here having this one with you, if I'm honest. But it's because we care. All right, so just want to lay the ground rules with that, kind of set a little bit of the tone as we move into this semester. We've had a lot of you who've joined us this last year, and we're super grateful for that. And I just also want to remind us of here's what we're about at Rocky Students. And if we have one of those conversations and you got to talk to an officer, it does not mean we don't care about you. We still want to have a conversation after, okay? So those are just a couple things that I wanted just to bring in with you all tonight. So you'll be seeing officers here that we've had on many Wednesday nights. Our security is an amazing team who's here all Wednesday nights. There's just going to be some things that maybe we're changing up. So just be ready for that. But those are just some of the boundaries that we have, okay? Let me see where we're at. This was something that, again, we just really wanted to have a good conversation with you guys. So, you want to hit the lights? We'll just go back to normal. I'm going to change up gears. You're like, finally. Here's a little bit of what I wanted to go into. I did not want tonight to just be like, great, let's just talk about the rules and how you all are going to behave. I actually wanted to be very clear about those rules, and we're serious about them. But it also felt like it would be a miss if I didn't also look at who you are and say, all right, now let's also help you along the journey. So that way, if those things are a part of your life, let's change it. And so here is just, I don't usually talk about my tattoos. It is what it is. This is something I got, 8 years ago. And when I got it, the message behind it is I want my life to be about something bigger than myself. And as I was just thinking of what are we talking about with the rules and how Rocky Students wants to be known in this city, I definitely don't want to be known as a place who's just negatively impacting our city. And so my question to all of you would be this, is what is it that you want your life to be about? Who or what do you want to represent? And maybe for you, it's like, I'm in the athlete world, I'm in the school world, and so that's where I live. For me, what I found was, and many of our leaders here, is why we show up is because Jesus has done so much in our life. And so whether I'm hanging out with friends, whether I'm at a sporting event, whether I'm at home, whether I'm working, wherever I'm at, that's what I want to live by. I want to say, hey, how can I represent Jesus in all I do? And it doesn't always mean I'm going to tell you about it. Sometimes it might just be about how I treat people. When I don't want to be kind to them, or when I'm driving and I want to do something else, I'm just going to keep driving and no gestures, all right? They're just things that I try to do because I'm trying to point my life to something bigger. And so that's the invitation I want to just extend to you all as we talk about, all right, here's some of the zero tolerance on these nights, and that sort of thing. And so here's a couple questions for you that I just want you to think about. What does your life point to right now? Just think about it. I don't need to hear the answers. Just think about it. My other question to that is are you building people up or are you chasing them out? Are you building people up or are you too busy building your platform? Just, again, be honest with yourself. I think this is super important. For some of you, you're leaders, but maybe you're staying silent and it's time for you to step up. We have a lot of great leaders in this room. So what is it for you? That's how I felt yesterday morning, all right? Also, I'm glad that they're here. Here's the deal. These changes are happening because we genuinely believe in all of you guys here. Here's just a little bit. I want to get a little more specific. Some of you may be fighting and starting beef with people is your way of life. And here's what I know about the statistics. They're going to say in 3-4 years you won't graduate from high school. 3-4 years you'll have spent X amount of time in juvie or X amount of time doing community service. And my challenge and encouragement to you is man, if you have a fighting spirit, then fight to not be a statistic. And maybe for you, fighting isn't a thing, but you maybe are in a mental health statistic. I'd encourage you, how do we fight against that? Choose some things that you can fight for rather than fight people. Choose something to fight for rather than fight against your inner turmoil that's happening in your mind. There's a good energy of when you want to fight, but it's got to be in the right way. So that's one of my encouragements to you. If that's part of things that you're fighting, whether it's people, mental health, you name it, I just want to say fight for your future and not other people. Maybe there's another thing, and I've had these conversations. Many people here have had man, I will be hey, why are we vaping? It shouldn't be good. And they're you don't know what I go through? And I'm all right, tell me. Life is very hard for many of you. You're right. I can't know exactly how you're living and how you're going through, but I know that many other people are also in a very similar boat. And here's what I know. When we just choose to numb out about the things that we're going through and living through, it does not set us up well when we're 35 and we're trying to numb out and we still can't keep a job and we still can't be with our family because we don't know how to cope with life yet. That's my challenge to you, is I've seen where that plays out. And I also understand why you do what you do. Numbing out, checking out of the hardships of life is great. So my encouragement to you is, how about you choose to check in rather than check out? I just had a conversation with someone yesterday who was addicted to nicotine, I believe, for 4 years. And I said, well, what led to you stopping? And he said, I chose to be a person who is no longer addicted to nicotine when I still was. I chose that I'll be like, no, I'm not going to do that anymore, even though I still want to. And he said it was a month of being extremely mad and grumpy. And then he no longer does nicotine. And so there's a level that I'm asking you guys to do hard things because I know you can. This next piece I just was thinking about, I had a meal with a student I knew from a couple years ago who graduated, and he's currently working on building a brand. And he said, man, sometimes I just feel silly. Like, I don't want to be on camera. I feel silly doing it. And I was like, why? Do you know what your brand is about? Do you know where you're trying to go? And he's like, kinda. And I think it got me thinking this. There's a lot of leaders in the room here who often stay silent. And my encouragement to you is like, know where you're going. Know what you want to be about. Here's a great example. There's times where I saw kids bullied in my school and no one stepped up and did anything because I didn't know what I was about and where I was going. Now, I'm more than happy to step up and stand with the kid who's getting made fun of when everyone else is making fun of them because I know what I'm about. I don't care if people think it's silly. I don't care if people want to make fun of me. I know that I want to be about people who are getting picked on. I know I want to protect other people. So I don't know what it is for you, but I think if you say, I do follow Jesus, and that's what you're really about, sometimes people will think when you follow Jesus, it looks silly. And I think what I've found is actually it's one of the best ways to live life, is when I've said yes to something and I'm chasing after it. I don't actually care what people think when I know that I'm making a positive impact in people and in this world. Here's another example. Maybe some of you maybe have a younger sibling. I got little kids, and so when my little kids want to dance in a restaurant and there's 50 other adults around there and I'm about to dance with my little kid to a silly song, I no longer feel silly because my goal is to be a good dad. So I'm going to dance. Even though there's a part of me that's like, what are people going to think? I bypass that because I know what I want to be. So for some of you leaders in the room, it's just time for you to really lean into who do you want to be about and what do you want to be about with your life, and it's time to move forward. I was planning on just having some leaders here, but if you're a leader with us or on the influence team, I'm just going to have you stand up, and I want you to hold out how many numbers you have been volunteering for. If you look around the room, Hugh, throw up how long you've been volunteering for. There you go. We got people who are going to hold up 10 because they've been here 10 plus years. We got some people who are here for the first time. We got some people who are on 3, 5. Liz, it's great. Got some 4 back there. All right. I appreciate you all clapping. You guys can sit down. Here's why I appreciate the applause for them. We don't ever show up for that. If you were to count up the numbers between the 35, almost 40 people who volunteer, counting our high schoolers, we're over 100 years collectively that we show up to help be, for you all. We have spent 100 years showing up to be like, all right, come Thursday, Friday, how do we be a positive impact in our community and not a negative one? So I just want to again convey the message to you all that maybe you're sitting there and you're like, does anyone really care? Are we just doing rules because they want to do rules? None of us signed up to babysit. None of us want to sit here and say, hey, stop talking. None of us want to do that. But we believe that sometimes when someone's up on here on stage that they might stay alive for one more day. We believe that someone up here on stage might encourage someone to follow Jesus, which could change what Hugh said, the next 60 years of their life. That's why we show up, because we care about you. We want to do life with you. So here's what I want to move into my next part. Today is about you. I've said this before, investing in your future self. We have leaders around the room. All of you in this room have a parent or a guardian. I want you to find someone you can start regularly meeting with. There's 30 some in this room. There's people in your life. Can you find someone that you can maybe meet with and just say, hey, there's things I want to chase after in my life. Can you help me? Can we talk about it? I really want to encourage you guys to lean into that. Here's another just kind of piece. that'll say is like, well, what's Rocky Students helping me? Like, how are you guys going to help me? And I think that's a great question. I think Wednesday nights are designed for you to have fun. It's designed for you to laugh. It's designed for you to just go out and play. And it's also designed for you just to look at life. So here's the things I just want to encourage you. If you've never jumped into groups, but you're really curious about who Jesus is, I know some of y'all jumped in tonight for the first time. Good job. Give it a chance. Some of you have been in groups for years, and I really appreciate you jumping in and investing in your faith. Some of you maybe need more digital stuff. We have a podcast. We put these Wednesday nights up, or these videos from Wednesday nights every week. There's also a text platform that we've had for a while that for a whole year will send you videos to develop your spiritual leadership and just you as a leader. And then if you're in high school and you say you love Jesus, we also have a whole influencer team of, I think we're up to 17 high schoolers who are on this team who said, hey, I want to make Wednesday nights the best thing ever for everyone here, and I also want to show up in my schools and with my family and with anyone I meet in this city. And so if you're just looking for a way to get developed over the years, we have it. Have you ever been to a Sunday morning here? It's a great time. Come say hey to one of us if you see it. All the leaders here you'll often see on Sundays say hey. And here's the deal. I just want to close with this last piece. As I was reading through, just this scripture kept coming to my mind. And right before this, it says, if you decide to follow Jesus, there's a moment where your old self, meaning like the way you used to live, has to start changing. You got to try on something new, right? I told someone today, no one wants me to see me dressed like many of you. Like that, I'm going to be me. But it's time we've got to wear something new. And this is what it says. Hey, maybe try this in your life when you want to follow Jesus. And it says compassion, kindness, humility, quiet strength, discipline, be even-tempered, content with second place, quick to forgive an offense, forgive as quickly and completely as the Master, aka Jesus, forgave you. And regardless of what else you put on, wear love. It's your basic, all-purpose garment. Never be without it. Here's what I want to encourage you all. Take a picture, look it up, choose 3 of those things that I want you to chase after, even if it's just for a week. I guarantee you your life will be better by choosing 3 things to chase after on that list. You can do more. Nothing on there will lead to a rougher life. You might be going through some rough things, but I can guarantee you the things on that list will lead to a much better way. This is partially why I follow Jesus. It's because I don't need to just these very clear of how I get to follow people, love people, and treat people in my community. So I really want to encourage you guys, lean into that. We're really grateful that you guys are here on Wednesday nights. We want to be able to keep doing this. I would really appreciate if you guys could just honor our requests in how we treat people on Wednesday nights. How you are always constantly believing in yourself, that Jesus has something really great for you. And if you don't really care about Jesus, there's 30 leaders here and other people who say, you know what, I'm excited to see what happens in your future. Whether you believe in Jesus or not, there's a lot of good things that you have in you. We want to see where that what happens with that. And so just join us. That Rocky Students is a place that's actually really good for this community. That Wednesday nights are really good. That you know you can show up and it's going to be a safe place. Not just physically, but safe where you can talk to people, that you can actually laugh. Because maybe some of us have been all day without a single laugh, and we need Wednesday nights like this. So you guys just join us in being an amazing place for people, because we want to meet more of you, and we want to keep building you guys up for what you have in your future, and just keep reminding you of who Jesus says you are. So if you guys just want to pray with me real quick, and then we'll go from there. Jesus, I'm super grateful for my friends here. Grateful for the people I met for the first time tonight and some that I've known for years. Will you just keep using this night for one, just that we will keep chasing you or keep looking at you to just keep making a positive improvement in life. We're grateful for this place. And moving forward, will you keep using Rocky and Rocky Students as a place that betters our community rather than works against it? We're so thankful for you. Thanks for loving us. We pray in your name. Amen.